Again, like I was saying, and I hate to repeat this like for the third time, the person Greg Maddox was responding that what he liked to see is that these different organizations get together, and that he was making a statement that it takes more than just organization, that it takes money, um, and to law and the system. So what he's talking about to help, what he believes would help was the organizations, money, and legislation. Now, I'm going to speak on all three of those things. The first thing about these organizations, a lot of these organizations are just like, you see how they have businesses that they call money laundering businesses. A lot of these quote unquote organizations are the same. Okay, ask me how I know. I'll tell you how I know. Because because for one, I mean, it's obvious. If you're gonna help somebody, you don't give money to someone else to help someone. You find out for yourself, and you do what you can. So that what your resources, whether they be physical resources, your mental, your physical resources, things that you do, or financial, if that's what you're doing. And it shouldn't be about the financial, it's about the end result, which has nothing to do with about the money. It has to do with the soul and the mind. And to make sure that you're getting the results that you're seeking to get, or that you're coming a step closer. When you're just throwing your money out the window, you don't know where it's going, and you're not doing anything to learn about the system or learn about what's causing these problems and this disease in society, and different classes in society, whether it be financial classes or socioeconomic classes. So these organizations that he's talking about, I'm gonna talk about them one by one. NAACP, absolutely nothing. When I was going through my thing 10 years ago, I contacted everything that I knew, tried to contact the Oprah Show, this, that, and the other. Nothing. These are all like figureheads. These are money laundering businesses. They're soul laundering businesses. You put your heart and soul into reaching out, you're not going to get anything. Just like I was talking about the Innocence Project, it's too many. You have to, and then the more money they get, the more corrupt it becomes. If you've ever, art imitates life, and life and vice versa. If you've ever seen a movie, I went to see this movie. At first, I didn't want to see it because I thought, cannibals, I can't get down like that. The Green Inferno, political movie about cannibalism. Had cannibalism in it, but that's not really what it was about. What it talked about is how people get all riled up for causes and things like that, and it's never what it seems to be. That's why you have to get to know individuals behind things personally. And I try to introduce myself through this medium and other mediums in order to try to get some support. And when I say support doesn't mean financial support. Support means support community. You know what I'm saying? People that are willing to admit that they've been through these situations or know someone in these situations, and are willing to step up and voice their opinions about it or their experiences about it. And again, through that forum, one person was saying, it's time to voice, and enough is enough. He was just saying that. He didn't mean it. It sounded good, but he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. It sounded good, but he did not mean it. I don't know if he ever at once, he looked so smug. I don't know if he ever at one time ever did mean it. But it's true. Now, I was talking about the Green Inferno and about political organizations and how people get riled up about causes, and they have absolutely no idea what's going on. Because in that movie, they were going to go save the rainforest. There was a bunch of college students. So they always take people that are young and impressionable. Bunch of college students. One of the college students was a little bit older. And he was like, oh, we're going to go stop them from cutting down the rainforest. We're going to go stand and chain themselves to a tree. And it really showed a very good picture of how sometimes personal things can get involved. There was a young lady that was interested, I guess, in the guy. She thought he was attractive that was leading the group. He had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend got jealous because she saw him eyeing her. And so when it came to chain them to the tree, she halfway chained them. So she put her at risk of being murdered. And she knew it because the girl was telling her, hey, I'm not locked in. I'm not locked in. She kept on going. And the thing about it is that when they went to go, all these young children, freshmen, sophomore, juniors in college, they went thinking they were going for a good cause to quote unquote save the rainforest, chained themselves to the tree, and they said, well, the way they were going to protect themselves was they were going to live upload whatever happened immediately. which saved them kind of sort of to a certain extent. But the thing about it was they didn't know when the end of the story came, when they were going out to do this standoff, the people it's like the people that were in charge already knew, yeah, it'll hold them off for maybe 3 days. But the only reason they were doing that was that so the other company, it'll make it so that company that went out to get the contract wouldn't be able to get the contract, but another company, while they were going through all that turmoil, would come in, would step in and get it. So it's not about what you think it's about, people. It's not about what you think it's about. You have to get involved personally. You have to get to know somebody that's in that situation. And, a lot of times people are not going to be fast to say it, because I know that when I went to the FAMU thing, I didn't say it at first because I wanted people to get an understanding of what people's thoughts and ideas were about it, but people already knew and they backed off. Now, the other thing about it as well is that I have so much to say about that, but I'll just leave that alone. But it's not what you think it is. You have to get involved personally. And when I say get involved personally, people are not going to tell. And the reason people are not going to tell immediately is because you have a sense of discernment that, just like when I saw that guy get up and tell all that, he has something I didn't have, the ability to run all over them and not have a problem with it and not be scared of the repercussions. I was afraid of the repercussions, that if I ran all over them, they would say I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that then I would be muted for good. I would not be able to say anything or speak my voice or voice my opinion. So, I don't give all of it out just like that because I want to see. Oh, I'm hearing something. I don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I'm hearing something. But it's like a saw or something. It sounds like it might be coming from in here. Maybe the landlord is working on something. I don't know. But so it's like the way that I felt was at the end, I was like, okay, maybe I need to do things different. So I was frantically giving all my information. But what happens is that you give all of that and people know and they don't care. And so you give all of that for nothing. It's like playing all your cards and not having anything left. And I'm not a gambler, but that's exactly what it's like. So, things are not there for what you think it's for. The NAACP, I was trying to tell y'all about my experience with that. I contacted them in Atlanta, the NAACP quote-unquote headquarters. And people are still donating money to them like crazy, okay? Now, when I contacted them, each and every time, I contacted them 3-4 times a day, for a while. And each and every time, the mailbox was full. They don't even have anybody to check the mailbox. I'm sure there's people that would have been happy to volunteer, all the black colleges, the students there. There's nothing going on there. It's just a shell. It's not a real organization anymore. Okay? And like they talk about the Rainbow Coalition. I don't even really know what that's about, but Jesse Jackson sending all this money to these people and so forth. That man was flying his mistresses that place and the other. That's the same thing with these big churches. Y'all need to stop feeding into that and feed into yourself and the person next to you. And, when you start practicing doing that, just speaking to person, asking a question, have the audacity, and it's not for everybody, because like that guy had the audacity to kick down the door and just run all over the panel. I don't have the audacity to do that, but I do have the audacity. All of us have our separate gifts on a one-on-one basis to ask you, hey, have you been homeless? Hey, have you been in the criminal justice system? And they may or may not tell you, but it's the fact that you took the time to care. And then maybe after a while, if they see that you're sincere, they may come back and talk to you about it, or if they really needed someone to talk to, maybe they'll do it right then, but it's your responsibility. You can't push it off. And that was one of my points during the seminar. You can't push it off onto someone else. Make it your business. And money is what corrupts it to begin with. That's what I'm saying. And he says, I'll leave you with this one thought. Everybody remembers when Martin Luther King marched and spoke, but few people remember him using boycotts and hitting the powers that be in their pockets. It worked then and it can work again. Yeah, that's right. When they televised those police officers beating children and whatever, yeah, it hit them in their pockets because the white people got mad. They had the money. So you have to reach out to the audience that's, willing to receive the information. And speaking on that type of thing, I remember being in Richmond, Virginia in college. I think maybe probably between my freshman and sophomore years, being downtown, and they had policemen on these huge horses. And I remember that creeped me out, one. And then a little black girl, there was a white guy on the horse with the helmet and everything on, little, just looking stolid. The little black girl came up and says, "Will he kick me if I pet it?" And she was with her mom. The police officer said to her, "No, but I will." This is 1990, somewhere between 1993 and 1995, folks. It's real. And black people sometimes are their own worst enemies. I'm going to say this because I think that a lot of black people are suicidal, but not, not in a way of, oh, they're going to go kill themselves, but they're doing it slowly, by murdering each other, by saying, so proudly, I don't give a, like that's the cool thing to say. No, that's not cool. They're murdering themselves slowly. And the system knows it and is created for them to do that, to create, an environment of helplessness. Now, there was a movie, I didn't get a chance to vlog on it, called Shelter. It's about homeless people and about how these people were trying to get up. And in order for them to come up, some of these people were, allowing themselves to be used and abused in ways that was horrible. If you ever watched any adult films or movies, you will see portions of it where you can see that these people are being used. I've seen too many times. Do y'all hear that? It's like a buzz. And it's not my phone buzzing or anything. Maybe it's coming from outside. Maybe somebody's working in the yard or something. But that's what I wanted to say. That it is really distracting. I wonder if I could tune it out. But that's really what I wanted to say, is that people, there's a lot of bad that goes on. And sometimes people are doing things that, in order to get ahead, that really are hurting them. They're looking for approval and doing things to get approval. And like I said, I worked at that place. They told me to kick these people out. And I'm like, I'm making minimum wage. Isn't that supposed to be a boss or manager's job? Oh, if that's your job. If you want your job, that's what you're going to do. Did it and still got effed. You feel me? So never go against your true moral values. Know yourself. Know thyself. Know who you are. Know what your values are and stick to that regardless. Because if you don't, you're selling your soul. And that's the truth. So I had more to say, but whatever noise this is distracting. And, it always seems that that's just the way things are. It happens like that, I guess, by mere coincidence or otherwise. But I guess I said enough for now. If my heart feels to speak more on it, I will. But anyways, God bless. Take care.